Welcome back. We're now ready to start making our base sugar cookie recipe. Everybody has family tradition. There are different ingredients that might go into it. This is the simplest form that everybody knows of. A lot of times you're going to see it in commercially baked product. This is the easiest way for you to do it. We're going to start with 4 cups of all-purpose flour. We want to add dry ingredients into a mixing bowl anytime that we're going to bake. This is how we start. Dry ingredients are going to be mixed together first. Specific reason for that. If I add just flour in here, dump a little bit of sugar, how do I know it's mixed together? So we're going to blend all of our dry ingredients. We have that. This is 1.5 cups of normal sugar, granulated sugar. Gonna add that in. I have 1/2 teaspoon of regular salt. Iodized salt is fine. We do not want to use a kosher or a sea salt. Granules are too big. I have 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Very, very important, because that's going to give a little bit of leavening or a little bit of rise to our cookies. Okay? Very important baking. Give that a brief stir. And we're going to put it in a mixer. This is also a dish that can be done by hand. Should you not have a mixer at home, we can add these ingredients and then start adding what we call our wet ingredients to this. So, always make sure that your bowl is locked in here when we start this, because like that, see, we're going to tell you, that's how it works. And I'm doing this very quickly because all I want to do is mix that together. Now, to this, in a dry ingredient form, I'm going to take this back off. I'm going to add 1.5 cups of vegetable shortening. Crisco is a name brand that everybody knows. There are some off-brands, but it is a shortening. What happens with the shortening, it's going to make a lighter cookie. Some recipes your grandmother may or may not have are butter, margarine. Shortening is going to make it a little bit lighter as we cook it. Okay? I have 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons of milk. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a binder. And as we progress through this, putting 1 teaspoon of vanilla. This is not a recipe you would ever use a vanilla bean for. It needs to be liquid vanilla. There are extracts and there's pure vanilla. I would recommend pure vanilla. 2 eggs. Okay, 2 whole eggs. Now, we're going to come back over and we're going to start blending this. And again, in a home sense, you can do this by hand, but it's a little bit easier if you have a mixing bowl. All this will come together in the same sense. We lock the bowl down a little bit better than we did it before. And we're going to start blending this together. Usually takes to start, it's going to take about 30 seconds to a minute. This is not something really I would recommend doing 100% with the beater, because we're not trying to break down the recipe, we're just trying to combine it, and this just makes a little bit of a shortcut. So see where we're at right now. It's kind of a wet Pasty consistency would be the best way to describe it. Then what we do, best way, if you have a big bowl at home, it's fine to just transfer this out into a big bowl, or you can actually transfer it out onto a countertop, and we just knead it very, very gently as we would a bread dough. Okay, as a bread dough, and it starts to combine. The idea is just to make sure that the dry ingredients are combining. You can feel it with your hands. That's the best way. It's the best way with cooking in general. Okay? Your hands are the two best tools you will ever get. It's starting to come together because we're not feeling the flour that's on this. Okay. All right. Right now, best thing that we can do is after we combine this, anytime we're dealing with a cookie dough, we need to let it refrigerate for a little while. Usually an hour, maybe 2. Okay? Best thing, it's got to rest. Now we need to go to a break. As we come back, we're going to roll this out and show people how to actually make cookies.